everyone. This is episode 142 of the Need to Nerd podcast. This is Take 2 Electric Boogaloo of Andor Season 1. Paddy B, why is it Take 2?
It's Take 2 because the audio was either bad or off, and you called me in
Crying.
complete despair.
I was crying.
You were distraught.
I was so
I was like, it's all right. We were kind of rushed last week anyways because we were trying to get it in before you went looking at some places. So this is probably
I'm gonna have to literally post this like today or tomorrow because season 2 comes out in 2 days.
This week. Yeah. Yeah.
So happy Easter. I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
And you know, the sad thing is this is the last episode of the Need to Nerd podcast. I've been informed I'm not allowed to work with Paddy B anymore. Paddy B, would you like to explain why I'm literally not even supposed to be on this phone call right now?
Yeah, I can explain that. You
can explain?
You've got a green shirt, I've got a pink shirt.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
What's green and pink is Wicked, and I surprised my wife and took her to Wicked today.
How much did your tickets to Wicked cost, Paddy B?
So we were in the third tier. It was pretty high up.
That's great. How much did your tickets to Wicked cost, Paddy B?
Under $50 each.
Oh. So I called Paddy B. I was like, hey, what time you want to record this week? And Paddy B didn't even answer my question. He said, oh no. I was like, what? He says, I'm going to be in so much trouble with your wife. And I was like, I was just calling you to ask what time you're recording. He's like, yeah, I know, but I'm going to post these pictures online, and your wife is going to be like, where did they get the money for this?
And
Paddy would be like, well, we sold our kidneys. Oh, no, we didn't, because these $500 tickets were $50.
No, I mean, yeah. It was Easter Sunday. A lot of people go out to the theater. Although it was pretty packed. So
you heard from my wife today. What she had to say to you?
I couldn't hear much on the other end of the phone. Just loud
screaming.
Grumbles. Yeah.
Was it good? Was it worth it?
It was really good.
Your wife seemed speechless. Shelby seemed to really enjoy it.
It was really good. I had a more emotional experience at the Gershwin in New York, but that's neither here nor there.
Wonderful. I'm happy for that for you. I've never seen it,
yeah,
so
I know.
No one's ever told me about $50 tickets before.
Hey, all right.
Should we talk about Andor?
Yeah, let's do that.
So before we do, I want to talk about our Nerd Fact of the Week. Every week on the show, we try to give you something. Sometimes I can't find something that I think is kind of worthy of this segment, but I did think that this one was interesting. And that is the first sequence shot in Andor Season 1 was literally the brothel scene. So the sequence which opens the entire series is the first sequence that was shot. And the jukebox in the brothel is inspired by the droid detector in Mos Eisley's cantina in the 1977 Star Wars: A New Hope. So not only is it the first sequence shot, like the first thing that you see on screen is literally the first time anyone's on camera for the show, but that jukebox that's in that scene is inspired by A New Hope. Kind of full circling like what Andor is about.
Yeah, that's the tone felt very much like Rogue One, obviously, because it's designed to be a prequel for that, and Rogue One and New Hope are very close in feeling as well. So, like, that'll make sense.
When we recorded this last week, it was before Star Wars Celebration.
Oh yeah,
And now Star Wars Celebration has happened, and we've seen the preview. And I gotta ask, before we record this episode, Paddy, have you seen...
I've not watched the preview.
You haven't?
No.
Dude, don't even... We're gonna go into this without you watching it then. I'm not even gonna pause the show so that you can watch it. I want people to know Paddy hasn't seen the preview. Oh, man. I got chills. I'm so excited. All right. Before we get into it, though, don't forget the housekeeping that is the Discord. If you want to talk fantasy sports, we had an interesting one that I wanted to bring up on the episode because of NIL.
Oh, right.
And I want to say this. I've never seen a dad acting in the best interest of their kid over an actual agent for sports money. It always seems to work badly.
Yeah. When parents get involved, I can't say always because I think Lamar Jackson's mom has been a great agent for him.
I thought he was his own agent and that she was his advisor.
Maybe that's the relationship. I'm not sure.
I think he does not have an agent, and she advises him. Isn't she a financial? She's like a banker, though, right?
I'm not sure.
Either way, like the ball kids.
Right.
That was the worst thing that ever happened. Not really, but just don't listen. If you're listening to this podcast and you're a Smash player, you're a Magic player, you're whatever you are, listen, your parents are great advocates, but do not hire them. It never ends well. And that was a fun part of our Discord conversation this week. I think that, like, you know, we have podcast listeners who are from Tennessee, so it hit very close to
Oh, jeez.
We have multiple podcast listeners from Tennessee, and it was interesting, but I just...
Oh, man.
You know, speaking of money, let's talk Andor.
One thing, though, first, before we talk Andor, continuing on with the Discord, you know what else happened in the Discord while we were away?
Oh, what was that?
A fantasy basketball championship.
Oh,
for
because we missed
the bracketology.
You did win. Congratulations,
Paddy. I did. Yeah.
I forgot because we had already congratulated you.
Did we? I thought that was last week on the on the Andor episode.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I forgot that we had done that.
Right.
Because we had done it, but it was gone. How do you feel being a champ? You gonna put a crown on? I
have one, but I'm not going.
No, don't do that. I was just kidding.
Yeah.
Dude, I
worst to first, baby. It was looking real bad.
It looked bleak week one.
Yeah.
I looked unbeatable for 3 weeks, and I think I took 4th.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So
I didn't pay attention to where anyone else placed. It was like yeah.
Let's talk about Andor season 1. Congratulations, Paddy B, the
Thank
winner.
you.
Just like the Empire always is. I don't know how to transition this. So Andor season 1 is interesting, and I'm just gonna read what I wrote, Paddy B.
That's very good.
Oh, thank you. Beloved by fans and critics alike, Andor sets the stage for the, quote, best, in Spencer's opinion, Star Wars movie of all time. That would be Rogue One. We look at casting Andor from Rogue One as a scoundrel trying to make his way through the world he maybe never belonged on. In doing so, he falls into trouble after trouble, after scheme, to the point where there may be no return. What will he find as his guiding compass as a man with his only light being his way out? He finds his way in this world might be much darker and deeper than just an escape. I just think that it's finding a mission, finding a reason, knowing what you're against, knowing what you don't stand for, and then having to say, well, I know I'm not this. I know I don't stand for this. I know I don't believe in this. And then having to then centralize that, it's kind of hard. And for Cassian, he believes in himself and his family, and that he does not believe in the things that do them wrong. And it's hard for him to go to the next thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's kind of lost, trying to find his way. A few different forces are trying to give him purpose, and nothing really works out. So,
Do you remember the first time that you watched the show, Patty?
yeah. So, I was a little late to the game on this show. Um, Spencer had watched it, episode by episode when it released, and for the longest time he was trying to get me to watch the show. Um, and I binged it. And it was that was one of our, like, I think it was around just before, like, we started, you know, recording this podcast together. Um And I remember it was kind of a point of like, oh, that's right. You like to just binge shows all the way through.
It's funny because I have now watched this twice and then also binged it. And man, there. I think that you will agree with me that there is something about an episodic release that is special, and you can tell this one is made that way, knowing that you're going to watch it week to week rather than minute to minute.
Yeah, the way it was designed, there's a lot of those kind of big moments at the end of each episode that like leaves you wanting more for next week.
It is that my first memory of the show is that it reminded me of like an ABC drama, like Scandal, Grey's Anatomy, like
Lost.
Yeah, just those huge ABC level, just end of the night. Watch this thing after the kids are in bed. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, we also compare it to Game of Thrones in that way, where like you're talking like you're having to wait till Wednesday to talk about it.
No, yeah, I think we talked about this on the show, but like at the job I had called Thumbtack, great company, check them out. I'm probably gonna hire them use them for movers as I move this month. We had a Game of Thrones rule where you were in the lunchroom, you were not allowed to talk Game of Thrones until Wednesday because you had to give everybody time to catch up. And it is it is classic water cooler talk that like when everyone is involved, and Andor falls into that. Like you have so many questions and ideas of what's going to happen next time that you want to talk about it. And I don't know, did you and Shelby talk between episodes, or did you guys just go?
I don't think I watched this. I didn't watch the show with Shelby.
Wait, did you watch it this time with Shelby?
No.
Oh, you gotta watch it with Shelby.
I've binged it so through. Good. Yeah.
You binged it twice? You've just binged this show twice?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
it.
I think that like, I mean, you kind of mentioned this, but like my first memory is like watching the show week to week. And there's a couple things that I'm going to say during this episode. It's going to piss people off. But I loved how unified the Star Wars community was during this. Because it's been a hellscape ever since. And it's similar to Rogue One. Like, I said it during the what is it? Like, Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie ever made. And it's because it fits so perfectly into the narrative that it's unbelievable. It is, I mean, if you watch the end of Rogue One and you don't leave that movie theater going, oh my goodness, that was it. That was, I've never left a movie so satisfied in my life. Then you just didn't watch the movie. And the first season was pretty close to perfect. But I also loved that because Rogue One was so beloved, that we didn't have the stuff that we've had that we've talked about on the show about the fandom menace in Star Wars for this show. So I just remember it being very unified. That's it. Spoiler time. If you have not watched season 1, we were hoping to do this last week. You got a day to do this, or maybe 2 days to do it because of the time that we're posting this now.
We talk about how good it is to watch
like,
episodically.
Hey, you got a week, and now you don't. You don't have a week anymore. You gotta go.
just binge it.
So let's talk about a high level impression. Like what did you think? Like, you watched this twice. What was your like, ooh, or ah, or like, ooh, I didn't notice that. Like, what happened?
Well, the tone of this feels eerily like on topic for our country, like watching it this time around. So that if you do another rewatch of it, I imagine you'll see kind of what I'm talking about. Yeah, it feels a lot like New Hope. There's a lot of and we'll get into some of the things it was that was really interesting to see. Kind of just a different side to this is a different side to Star Wars, like the different levels of like bureaucracy and the spider web that this movie kind of creates with all the different narratives. It's great.
I think that my overall impression was similar. Like, watching it the third time during this time in history kind of brought very different feelings for me, and I almost needed the rewatch. And
sure,
I'll explain in a few ways. This show came out in 2022, and it felt poignant then. Now it's 2025, and I'm crying watching it because I feel a little hopeless. And maybe that this gave me the fight and the hope that I needed because of that I probably don't have without it. And I guess maybe this is the time to talk about, like, when I talk about the fandom menace, one of the reasons the Acolyte was so hated was a lesbian couple making Force babies. The literal plot of this show is a rich girl fighting to find her lesbian girlfriend for half the show, and none of you cared. Then you didn't care. But now that it's okay to hate again, you care. And I can't with it. And I think that if you didn't get that, if it was like too hidden for you, that's what's happening. They're in love. Very, very much so. And they weren't forcing lesbians down you back then because they never were. It was natural. It was just a thing happening. Sorry. I just can't anymore. And this show is why I can't. I can't sit here and listen to the crap spewed by people. Like, oh, when it's overt lesbians, it's a problem. But when it's subtle lesbians, it's okay because I can ignore it and pretend like they're roommates. Like, get out of here.
They were
and
roommates.
they were roommates. I needed this show this time around. And my overall impression of it is that it was perfect in a lot of ways because it ended when it needed to end. I think it was it 12 episodes? And Devin and I talked about that. I've obviously gone on my diatribe soapbox stuff about this. I will be interested to see how long season 2 is. But it was this was the perfect length. It's introduced and fleshed out many characters. It gave storylines, and it led to what will be a very interesting season 2. Like, it's so interesting. I think we talked about this on the episode that was lost, but like, we know where this ends, and not only do we know that they have announced that the end of season 2 will literally be
beginning of Rogue One.
With the beginning of Rogue One. So we know where this ends, and the journey will be really fun to watch.
Yeah, that has its own, good and bad things, but we'll get into that.
Who's your favorite character of this season?
My favorite character this season, especially watching it this time around, I absolutely loved Mavra Andor. She was played, sorry, by Fiona Shaw. Great Irish actress, who you recognize from Harry Potter films as Patricia Dursley. Her performance in this show was just spectacular. Get into the love it later.
What did you just say?
What?
What did you just say? She was played. She was in what by who?
I got her first name wrong. Mrs. Dursley.
She was okay. So that's $3 to a anti-trans fund. Keep going though. I did not know this.
Why didn't you know? You didn't know this?
I did not. You said it, and I was like, all I heard is that I owe $3 to an anti-trans fund, but I did not realize what you said. That's Mrs. Dursley?
Yeah.
She got so old.
Time happens.
Yeah, I know. There half of them are dead. I just didn't realize it.
Okay.
Right. We'll double it. We'll double it, and we'll match any donations because we mentioned Potter on this podcast.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard not to. With no. She was one of my favorite characters.
Dude. I listen. You can't do a pop culture podcast and not mention Potter. But I did not realize that's who that was. And I remember specifically, now that you're saying it, what movie is it where she's like, is it the first one where she's like, she was a freak? How could I not know?
Yeah.
And now I see it in my head.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you like that, but
you're good. So yeah, like at all different stages of this story, whether it was her rescuing Andor from Cassian rather, from his home planet, to her interactions with BMO and like her speech at the end, just like every part about her this season was fantastic and really gave the reason to rebel.
Yeah. I think actually I'm just gonna dive in. We're gonna donate $9 to a trans fund because I'm gonna dive in because I love this. The fact that this is a Potter character talking in this time about rebelling and about fighting and about not giving up That's cool. I just her speech made me cry the first time I watched it, and this time I was ready to go to a protest. So
yeah, I did that last week too. So
yeah, you went to the AOC Bernie event, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not get it was so packed out here. We were not able to. I was not able to get into the building.
Oh,
But overflow was great outside.
Weird. In Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite character, what you've already mentioned, was BMO. And my wife and I talked kind of in length about this, but I just... One, you all need to start erasing droids' memories like you're supposed to. Because when you don't, they make me cry. They make me... Yeah, the camera will focus, you're good. Y'all make me cry when you don't erase your droid's memory. And it hurts. It hurts me in my heart, Patty B.
Mm-hmm.
There's a specific moment where I cry. Marva's dead, and Shimo doesn't get it. It's I know that you don't have kids, but it's kind of like having kids. Refresh your page a little bit. It's like having kids because like they don't know what's going on, and BMO's just out here being BMO, and you're like, BMO, we're all done here. And he's like, but why? Like I've been doing the same thing for 30 years. I need to keep doing the same thing. That's my job. And it's like, your job's over. So, no, I have a job still.
It's like, no, I'll just stay here.
There's not a moment in the show that Beamon's not a robot. And there's a quote from my wife that's like, she said, quote, can we stop making droids that are so important to the show? Like...
I mean, no. It's I think it's actually like one of the more like ironic things that the droids have some of the best human qualities of all the characters.
But only the droids that are malfunctioning.
Yeah, I guess you could say, like, I'm thinking back. Well, I mean, would you say like R2D2 is malfunctioning?
He has his memory erased in like 40 years. He's clearly malfunctioning.
And
Chopper,
K2SO.
That's not a proper functioning droid. That's not appropriate. that dude is like autism the droid.
Yeah. Yeah, Chopper is,
Chopper's just a war criminal. He has the most kills in Star Wars history. That dude has killed more people than every other character in Star Wars. Patty's muting his mic, laughing so hard. Chopper has committed more war crimes than Anakin Skywalker on film. We don't know what he did off film.
Oh boy. Okay. That's new post going out. Chopper is a war criminal.
That's not new. That's common Star Wars knowledge. You're just not on Star Wars internet. Chopper's a war criminal.
It's probably for the better. We're having those kind of conversations.
I love that. Let's talk about storylines. And in this segment, we usually talk about like our favorite storylines. And I mean, mine's gonna be really simple. I really love. Dude, I'm gonna tell something personal on the podcast really quick.
Okay.
I remember the moment that I told my dad I was getting cremated. and his soul left his body. He was so upset. And he's like, why would you do that to your body? It's like a gift from God. I was like, well, for one, we have different beliefs. And then for two, like, I'm not spending $4,000. I don't even know what they cost now. Imagine what they cost now, Patty B. I was like, I'm not spending $4,000 on a spot when I can just be turned into ashes and be in an urn for like $300. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Also, I don't care what you do with my body when I'm dead. I just don't want to be in the ground on a plot.
Yeah, that's like, it's funny because, well, yeah, I think my family has a few plots like purchased.
Do you have one for yourself?
I don't know. I haven't really like.
You've never asked if they bought you one?
Really asked that question, but I might. But no, it's just like I concur that is the way to go.
So the sisters being like, now we're gonna cremate you and turn you into a brick and make you a part of the world. That's my dream. That's my dream. You make my dead body useful? Let's go. That's my favorite storyline in the whole show.
Yeah. I have seen a few things like that where, like you turn into a tree.
That's real expensive. That's actually more expensive than the plot.
Yeah.
But it is cool. I mean,
to be cool.
I have seen a lot of people that want to be a fruit tree, and they're like, I hope my family can just eat the fruit from my body. And I'm like, that's gross. I would not. I can't imagine being like, oh, this apple tree was Spencer. Yomp, yomp, yomp.
Thanks, bud. I'll remember you.
Grandpa Spencer's apples.
No, but anyways, being part of the community and continuing to like still
to grow,
be there. Yeah.
What's yours?
I kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier. But Dedra Miro and the whole bureaucracy of the Empire and specifically the ISB, like it really gives you kind of that insight to that there is so much high level stuff going on that like a lot of things get missed and everyone's butting into each other's like responsibilities and like it's a whole other world and like system of its own like for the for the Empire. And I thought that was really interesting to see and how that like progressed, starting with this security guy for a non, like for Primor, right? This like conglomerate for the trade sector, like works his way and finds a way to get involved in all that nonsense. And yeah.
I gotta ask, what did you feel about the sexual tension?
I hate it.
I do, but you love her storyline, but then hate the sexual tension, so I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, it's like particularly at the end, just like, and I know that it's designed that way to make you like hate those two characters that seem to be just like destined for each other. But like, I don't know. I think you could have done it well without the sexual tension.
Okay, fair enough. I don't hate it. Like I think that like I think that you hate his acting. But I think she plays it really well.
No, she's a fantastic character.
And I think that like he plays it well, and it's like the Dolores Umbridge problem where he does it, or like the Joffrey problem where he does it so well you are grossed. You're like, I actually can't stand this. And you're not supposed to. Like that's actually he is doing his job as an actor.
Well, he's also not like his. Okay, I'm gonna go off here a little bit.
That's fine.
His like supervisor gave him an out. Like, you don't need to investigate this. Like, they probably overstepped.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the sexual tension. So you just hate him. You hate him as a character.
Yeah.
This is deeper than we got on the unreleased episode. So wait a second. Yeah, you're supposed to hate him.
I know.
Sucks. He's a loser. But you know what's funny?
He is a loser.
Do you hate him or his mom more? Yeah, you hate his mom more. But you're like, that's so much worse.
I know where I get my hate from. It's generational.
I love this. That makes this a good show, though, right? Like, you have a character that you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh, there are great other parts of this show that make it a great show. Not this.
No,
whiny,
it makes it better. It does.
Punky. No.
Oh my gosh, I mentioned Umbridge. I have to donate $3 more.
Oh man.
Gosh darn. We're gonna be poor.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to worry about it. I think that's such a good story. I think that the part that I love the most, that we talked about in the unreleased episode that I want to talk about, is like the moment where she's like, yeah, I went around the rules because the rules were stupid. And like, I just did it.
Yeah. That she had the initiative to just like, and I'm going to get crap done. And
I'd like to bring up a summons against my cohort that like investigated my district without my permission.
But I did it this way, so you can't really come after me.
Legally. And then he's like, yeah, but like,
they're like,
just talk to me.
Okay.
She's like, yeah, but that would have taken longer.
And you would have done things to obstruct my, my progress. Like you would have actively.
We're like loving the like horrible, like breaking the laws. We're like sitting here being like, I hate the Trump administration, but like, yeah, that was kind of smart, you know.
Yeah. That's the problem. But it
was good.
Sense.
It's good TV. It's good TV. And it's better TV because that's what's happening. Hey B, what's your favorite episode this season?
Sorry. My favorite episode this season, it's probably going to be, and I don't think it's the actual mid-season finale. I think it's episode 4, The Eye, or it's episode 4 or 5 is The Eye.
It actually is the mid-season finale. It is episode 6, and it is the mid-season finale.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this show, I should have mentioned it in my like higher level overview. It felt like 2 different like smaller shows. Like you could have had like a 6-episode season or a movie about Heist 1. And
don't do that. Don't do that. If you are a producer listening, ignore Patty B.
I mean, Spencer does think that 12 episodes is the ideal, perfect season.
Give me 10. I just don't want 8.
Or 13.
13 is fine. Anything 12 or more is fine.
Okay.
We used to get 20 every season of every TV show ever. Come on.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, the first heist with the group of rebels that Luthen has assembled, it all kind of comes together. It's pretty emotional. Some of the imagery in that episode is just really like beautiful because it's surrounding this like big natural event on the planet that they're on. And so I loved the money heist for Empire's sector's entire payroll.
Yeah, it is actually tied with my episode for IMDb reviews of the second best episodes. Both of us love the mid-season finale and the season finale. Excuse me while I sneeze. You know when your dog sneezes and they like shake their face? I might leave some of that in the podcast. I'm not sure. But if you're watching on video, you'll know if I did. My favorite episode is Brooks Road. I think the season finale is poignant, beautiful, amazing. Sets it is everything you want to set up another season. It was a perfect season finale. And what was funny is the entire time, the last couple of episodes, my wife just kept saying, "Is he so stupid? Is he so stupid? Why is he doing that? Is he so stupid?" And he is so stupid. Why is Cassian doing this? Why is he doing this? And it's because sometimes you don't act in your own self-interest. And you're acting to prove a point. And the only people that he knew he could make a point to were those people. And I don't know. I thought that it was beautiful. I think your episode is beautiful too. I think that like it's when he starts to discover himself. I mean, this show's really good. It's nominated for Emmys for a reason, but like, I've watched this 3 times, and I will probably watch it 15 more.
So. Yeah, One Way Out is up there as well. I was just looking here at the IMDb.
The one that was above ours.
Yes.
Can I? No, because you're gonna steal my favorites or my love-its if you talk about this episode.
That's fair. We can hold on.
You want to save it? Can we save
Sure.
One Way Out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You already knew what I was going to say because we've already recorded it, so I don't know what you're doing. Blah, blah, blah. Let's do Could Be Betters first, and then we'll talk about One Way Out.
Okay.
In this segment, we talk about things that we think would be better, not to disparage the show or anything, but just what could be better. I don't have any. My wife had some, and I wrote them down. Why is he so dumb? He's always going back and never hiding. He does not put his hood on, or a mask, or a disguise. You're in Star Wars. You could literally do pretty close to anything, especially because you have all the credits you just got back. Why are you doing this? Why is the sister so spoiled and thinks she's above everyone? Okay. So this is about the lesbian couple that we talked about. I don't think she thinks she's above everyone. I think that she thinks that people need to be equal. And that's not what's happening. I do think that she does things in a really dumb way. And gets really lucky at the end that he does not just shoot her in the face.
Yeah. She goes about things
very entitled.
Yes. It's like she grew up as a princess with Mon Mothma.
It's almost like she grew up like a rich entitled princess.
Yeah. So
I don't
that'll make sense.
It's not like it could be better for me because I actually think that like here's why I don't agree with my wife's could be betters because I think it's part of the character, right? Like he's on a phone call and saying he's Cassian. Yeah, you shouldn't do that, you dumb butt. but like he's not a military strategist. He's Cassian Andor. She's out here looking for her girlfriend and very upset that she knows her girlfriend is on this planet that's about to explode in
like violence.
And like, why is she there? You lied to me. You're lying to me. And she's doing this. And like, I don't know. Like, some people come from different positions in life. And for her, she had the funds and the ways to go and look for her girlfriend herself. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're not my could be betters, but they really bugged my wife. Like, a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. You had one though that is a constant through Star Wars, kind of.
I do have one. I forgot. I did put in the show notes.
Yeah.
I just don't. What is the purpose of Stormtrooper armor?
Security theater.
No. I've read the books. I've played the video games. I've watched the movies. It's supposed to do something. There is a specific moment. It might be. It's either in the season finale or the one. I think it's in the season finale, where what's his name headbutts a stormtrooper to knock him out, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. One of you is wearing a helmet.
That's just cheap Empire plastic.
No. Listen, the fandom menace is horrible. I think that they are full of terrible ideas, terrible quotes, and they're like when they were like, how would bombs drop in space? I'm like, are you for real? That's the thing you're worried about right now in Star Wars? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But I'm starting to get with them on Stormtrooper armor. What are we doing?
Yeah,
these are supposed to be terrifying individuals.
I mean, just security theater with the TSA is also,
No one's scared of the TSA, Paddy.
Intended to be terrifying.
I just can't anymore. I'm all done. And listen, there was the only moment in the whole show. Listen, I get it. Blasters break the armor for some reason. I don't know the point of the armor. But headbutting without a helmet, a human with a helmet on, and them getting knocked out is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Spencer, some people are just built different.
Okay. I know that you're joking, but I feel like you're yucking my yuck. I need to yuck this. What? There are so many other things. You gotta uppercut him. You gotta hit him in the chin. Done the same thing. Done the same thing. Why did we headbutt each other? You're headbutting someone wearing a helmet. Anyway, all right. That's my only could be better.
And we kind of talked about a few of mine. I think that the Dedra and Cyril thing was so awkward. I think Cyril and his mom were super awkward. And I don't believe some of the things that, I think that they played Mon Mothma's husband off as not knowing anything, but I don't think that's the case. Not just at the end with them kind of rooting out the spy, but just I don't know. I feel like he has a lot more going on than.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think he doesn't. I don't think he has any semblance of a clue what she's doing. But we'll see.
I guess
we will know.
We don't really see him in A New Hope or whatever.
Yeah.
Mom is just kind of on her own doing her thing. So maybe something horrendous befalls that man this season.
Love it. One of the things that we loved about this thing that we are reviewing, Paddy B, you have Lufin.
Yes. I do love Luthen. I love Lucy. I love Luthen. He has some of the best moments in this series, like action wise too. Like I think the escape from the tractor beam is just so cool and so well done. Um, yeah, I love Luthen.
Dude, that whole sequence, like, it might be the best sequence in the whole show. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me do this other thing. Blow. Don't look at the left hand what the right hand is doing. Blow up your ship. Dude, that guy goes into work the next day. What is happening? Any other love it's?
Yeah, I loved. I'm trying to get back over to the episode here. I love No Way Out. The whole prison sequence was
You mean one way?
It was very good. What? Sorry. Yes. I mean, there was no way out for
yeah, we'll get into that
for him, but just the way that like the prison was designed, as far as like making these people think that they had like a chance of escaping at some point, and like the way that they made people comply was like super interesting and different. I don't know.
Yeah, my first love, it has to be Marva's speech.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying not to cry. I think that there are a lot of moments where we don't know where we should stand up or if it will matter. Something that I learned from doing the constructive criticism podcast is that you kind of never know when your voice matters. You never know when it's heard or what you say and how will impact people. And because of that, sometimes I forget that there's not a wrong opportunity to stand for what's right. I think the thing that is lost that is important is to not be annoying or to not be too much with that. And when your actions and the things that you're doing are the thing that you're leading with, it becomes a lot easier for your words to be heard. And I think that speech did that for me and reminded me about the changes that I made that inspired people with CC, that maybe there are times that I can change moving forward. My next one is Bima. There was not a moment this droid was on screen that I didn't love. I said it was my favorite character, but very few droids made me cry. This droid made me cry multiple times. Every time I've watched it. When he says, "I don't want you to leave," you always say that. He has some lines. He's got some one-liners that you're like, "Holy crap, man!" And I love him for it. My next one is Bix acting. I think that it is hard to act tortured. I think that it is hard to put yourself in that mind space, and it was very believable. And I just want to, I don't know, shout out Let me just get the actress's name really quick because I think it's so hard. Like, um, I mean, you and I have both done theater, but I think that like,
Adria Ronha
oh, thank you. I don't know
or
how to say the
Arona.
last name. That's
Arjuna.
I just thought it was believable. Like I believed it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, her moments of clarity were believable. Her moments of insanity were believable. And I don't know, as somebody that has had to play very intense characters before on stage, it's kind of hard to get into a mindset. And she had to do that for a lot longer than anybody like doing like a stage production, right? Because like
Mm-hmm.
you have to do,
It's like a million takes.
yeah, it's so many takes. And I thought she did amazing. I mean, you played Quasimodo, and you have to do that for 3 hours, but like,
It's also not just that, but like going back, say like you're recording something after,
oh yeah,
right? That is
you have to go to
like
another mindset.
back into that same space and not
Yeah.
have it be too different, so it doesn't feel not authentic. That's also pretty crazy.
Yeah. My final one is the one that you let me save, and I appreciate it, but it is, I think, the literal best moment of the show. And it's I Can't Swim. We all knew there was one way out. There was one way out. And we had a specific character who knew the way out. And he has a line, I think it's the end of the episode before it, where he says, I'm going to pretend I'm already dead. All right, maybe that's not his exact line, but I'm going to act as though I'm already dead. Because he knows he's never leaving. In the moment,
And yeah, if they don't kill him themselves, like he's gonna have a harder time in there moving forward.
and so he
I would
knows,
imagine.
regardless of what happens to everyone else on this prison cell or in all these prisons, he's never leaving. He is already dead. And the moment he smiles and says, I can't swim, I remember the first time I watched it and was like, holy fuck, he already knew. Sorry, I'm not supposed to swear on this podcast. It was that crazy though. You're like, you knew! Like, you knew! And it happens, and Devonair's like, why did he do that? I was like, he already knew. She's like, wait, he knew he was gonna die? I was like, yeah! Like, he knows the system. He's like in charge. Like, he knows he's dead. But that's why he said it at the end of the I think it's like, it's what I said earlier in the show. It's like, sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's about paving the way and making a future. Andy Serkis is just like,
yeah. Oh. That's another just general love it. I think like I may have missed before. Just like overall, this entire cast is just fantastic.
Oh, his third Star Wars role? Like, what is the guy do? He's the king of Lord of the Rings, the king of Star Wars. He's just so good.
Marvel, like, he's in all of the...
Yeah, if you're a nerd, you love this guy. Come on. I think that Maxwell's peeking through the door right now, so I'm going to say this because I want him to hear it, but like, sometimes you have to stand for what's right, even when it doesn't benefit you.
Yeah.
Even when there's no hope for you. Because that's not the point. The point isn't what's good for me. The point is what is right and just for people and humanity and the people around me and my community. And that's not always going to benefit you. And we can't always benefit ourselves. Sometimes we're in a place of privilege, and that needs to change. So, Petty B, before we go, who does your eyebrows?
Me, dog.
Do you really?
Sometimes my barber.
Okay. My barber does mine, but mine are clearly done right now. If you were to rate this on a scale of 0 to 5, 0 being we would never do this show, 5 being this is perfect, what would you rate it?
I'm giving it a 4.5. Pretty standard Paddy score.
If you removed 2 characters, would it be a 5?
Be a 4.75.
I'm going to give it a 5.
Yeah.
I think that I gave it a 4.5 during our last recording. I think
No, you gave it a 5.
I think that this season is perfect. I can't imagine it being better. I can't imagine removing the characters that Paddy hates. I think that would make it worse. But I also can't imagine, like, the impact being less. Like, I can't just stand up and do what's right. Like, I just... We go from a character that has no beliefs other than his family and himself to willing to sacrifice himself for a greater good. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all pretty great. Cassian's awesome. He has a lot of growth through the season, where he's starting to just look for his sister and ends up working for the rebellion.
If people want to shame you for not giving me $50 tickets to Wicked, where can they find you?
They can find me on Blue Sky at PattyBMTG is also the same handle on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter.
You can find me at Spencer13H on Blue Sky, at Heezy Game on Twitter. Like, subscribe, comment, review. It's the best way to help the show. Paddy B, you excited for season 2?
Yes, I've got a lot of stuff that we're almost done with Daredevil season 3. Shelby has done all of. We've watched Daredevil season 1, 2. We've watched Defenders. And we'll be finishing Daredevil Born Again, and then we'll watch Andor.
So then
I'll probably have her watch
all of Andor with her, and then all of season 2.
I guess so. Yeah.
All right.
She's also welcome to watch Andor before on her.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm sad this is our last episode. I'm sad that my wife wants to literally punch you in the gut.
Look, all right. Right now,
your wife already sent us stuff.
Oh, I bet she has.
I love you. I think you're great, and I am glad we did this episode a second time. I wish that it didn't take the best Star Wars movie of all time to unite Star Wars fans on a TV show, because I think Star Wars TV is really good. Like, I actually think it's like some of the better TV available in the TV universe. And my hope is that if you're listening to this and you're watching Andor season 2, that you go watch The Mandalorian. That you go, like, listen, I won't pretend the Book of Boba Fett's that great, but, like, it's fine. Like, it's not bad TV when you look at other things on TV. And I think that Andor does the thing that Star Wars is trying to do right now, which is capture a drama audience into Star Wars. Book Mandalorian captures a Western audience, or not even just a Western audience, but like a villain of the week Western audience into Star Wars, and that's good. That's like good expansion of the universe, and I hope people love it. So, thank you, Patty B, and we'll see everybody next week. You are going ham with another episode of The Need to Nerd.